Guys, I am here to do a review over the first two Hawkeye show episodes, and I will be doing a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section, so I will tell you once we're getting into the spoiler section if you haven't watched the first two episodes and you don't want to be spoiled. Okay, I'm going to start with the non-spoiler section now. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really great. I don't know what I was expecting from this. Clint is a character I really like. I feel like I like him more than the average Marvel fan does. But he's still definitely not in my top 3 favorite Avengers, but he's definitely high up there compared to many other people's rankings I've seen. So I was excited, but I wasn't like, oh my goodness, I need to see this right now. And by the end of this, I'm really excited for the third episode. I think that this is gonna be a fabulous show, and everything from Clint to Kate to all the different side characters are just amazing, and I personally really enjoyed it. I loved the comedy. The comedy, especially in the second episode, I think was amazing. There is one part I will specifically be talking about that is like my favorite part of the show so far, and I loved it. All the action was really cool, and just how they're setting up all these characters really make me think that I'm gonna love all of these characters so much. So I'm really excited about that. And it's just, I think I'm gonna have a great time with this show and going to watch it every Wednesday. I do kind of wish the Fridays, not gonna lie, but I love Wednesdays too. So I do wish they would bring it back to Friday though. So okay, let's go into a little more of my thoughts in depth with the spoiler section now. To end the non-spoiler section, I thought it was amazing. I would highly recommend it. It's really fun and it's on Disney Plus. So now I'm gonna go to the spoiler section. So if you have not watched the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, I would recommend leaving now so you don't get spoiled. Okay, so spoilers will start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now that you've been warned, the people that have not watched it are gone, and if you have, you're still here. Hi guys, if you're still here. So I'm gonna first kind of separate the 2 episodes, and I'll talk about the first episode. The first episode was mostly just showing where these characters are in their lives right now. With Hawkeye, he was with and Clint, he was with his family, and you got to see Roger the musical, and it was exactly what I wanted. The bizarre musical theater, and it was so much fun, and just the reactions of everything was it was really sweet. But it was really sad with Clint when Natasha went on stage, and just seeing how sad he still is that Natasha died in Endgame because he was Natasha's best friend. So that was really sad, but it was a great way to represent musical theater and how bizarre it is, in my opinion. I loved that. And then they go and they just hang out, and then with Kate and her family, with her mom getting engaged to this guy that's not the best guy in the world, and them having a party, and she puts on the Ronin suit, and as always, the costumes in this show are great. Marvel does great things with their costumes, and this is another way of Marvel doing great with their costume department. And just everything, they've already used the Ronin suit before, but it was just really great. I love how they just put the Ronin suit together and all that stuff, and just all the costumes for all the characters just show who they are really well and their personalities, and I thought that the costumes were really great in this episode. And then the end, where Kate goes and saves the dog, but at the end, guess what? Clint goes and finds Kate in the Ronin suit. What? And then it ends. That's it. It's just kind of putting the plot, that's gonna be the show, and setting the characters. And that's what they've done for a lot of these Disney Plus shows, and what many shows have done that I've, like every show ever just establishes the characters and the setting of the show and all that stuff in just one episode. So the first episode was really fun and I enjoyed it, and the cliffhanger with Kate and Clint was great, but the second episode I think is where it gets really, really good. I loved the second episode. The whole time I was glued to the screen, and it was so good. They did everything and just times it by 100. It was great. So yes. So for this one, Kate's house gets burned down because they kind of remind me of the Flag Smashers from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was a while ago, but think back to that. They kind of remind me of that. We don't officially know who the head of this group is yet. Hopefully they do better than they did with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I did not like Sharon being the head of this Flag Smashers. I thought it was not done well. But I don't know. Hopefully they do a better job with it. Right now, I am putting my money on it being Kate's stepdad. He's not officially her stepdad yet because they're just engaged, but that guy, that's where they're wanting you to believe it is, so I'm not exactly sure if they're just gonna have a twist and they're being like, no, it's not him, he was good all along, but I really hope they don't do that, because he does not seem like a very good person, and just all the signs are there. So it would be kind of boring if it was him, but I don't some people would think it would be kind of boring. I personally don't, if they just make it really good and make this guy really evil. But if they're just like, yeah, he's a nice guy, and by the end they're just happy together, I really hope the show doesn't do that, because he is not a very nice person in these past 2 episodes. And everything with the suit being taken and then Clint having to go get the suit, that was my favorite part of this, where they're all in Renaissance costumes and they're having this fight, and he's like, okay, you took my suit, so I'm either going to hit you with this fake sword and you're gonna pretend to die and fall to the ground, or I will punch you with my real fist and you'll fall to the ground in real pain. Which one would you rather have? Just how he did that. And oh, I love Clint in this episode. I loved Clint before this, but he's just such a good character, and I love him as the main character in this show. And I really hope we get to see more of him after the show, because I see where this is going. Kate's gonna become Hawkeye. Everyone knows that. But please just have him still be in the MCU at least. I'm okay with Kate kind of taking over his spot, but I would love to see more of Clint, because he's awesome. But yeah, in that whole entire scene where he's trying to get the suit back, and he's like, okay, and the guy's just saying, okay, we can be the last 2 people, and I will pretend to kill you with my real sword so I get the glory, with my fake sword, not my real sword, with my fake sword, and I'll get the glory, and it'll be awesome for me, because I get to say that I beat a superhero, and then I'll give you back the suit. And they're like, okay, fine, I guess. And then the end is so funny. I loved that scene. Just the Renaissance scene is probably going to end up being one of my favorite parts of the show. I can already tell it's going to almost be one of my favorite parts of the show, and definitely was my favorite part of these first 2 episodes. It was so funny and just had so much charm, and I loved it. I've already spent so much time on this one part, so I need to move on from this part, but I will probably end up talking about this again in other episode reviews. So there was that, and everything with Kate and Clint getting kidnapped, and he's like, I want to talk to your manager. and he's like, this is just like being at a supermarket. I guess boss would have been a better way of saying that, and then after that he says boss, but it was awesome when he was like, I want to talk to your manager. This is almost like a supermarket. That was also really funny. I liked that a lot. And then they're like, where's Kate Bishop? And then she goes and he's like, I don't know who Kate Bishop is. I've never met her in my life. And then she is on top of the roof and just falls down, and there's guns, and she's like, oh, hi, Clint. That whole entire scene was really crazy, and I really hope I feel like that's going to be the vibe of this show, and I would love that, because it's a really fun vibe, but also has some serious moments to it, but mostly it's just about Clint and Kate getting in crazy situations and trying to get out of them. In the end, like, who is that character? I don't know. If you're a big comic person, I like the comics. I read some of them, but I don't know who that is. So if you know who that is, please let me know. Because I would love to know who it is, so then I can read comics that she's in, or whatever. I don't even know who it is. I've heard rumors that Yelena's gonna be in this, so maybe she has something with Yelena, but I don't know. I would love to see more Black Widow stuff, though, because Black Widow was a great movie. But to be honest, I don't know who that was. I was kind of like, who are they? Cool. Like, she seems kind of creepy, but which is really cool, but I don't know who that is. And I feel like we were supposed to know who that was. So if the comments are on, please tell me who that was if you know. So the ending was really cool. It was a really fun, crazy episode, and I really loved it. The second one was definitely my favorite out of the two, but they were both really fun. I would highly recommend this show, as I've said before. It's a fun, crazy show that also has some serious moments to it, and everything with all the characters are just really great. Also, the stepdad guy is played by Shrek from the Shrek the Musical from that's on Netflix, and Shrek the Musical is a really odd but also really fun musical. I've actually seen it live once, so I've seen it on Netflix a couple times too, but if you want to see more of him, you can watch Shrek the Musical on Netflix. I just thought I should put that in this video because I think that's really funny. So yeah, it's now almost been 13 minutes, so I'm gonna let you guys go, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. You can watch the 2 episodes of Hawkeye on Disney+. I would highly recommend it, and I love you 3000, and stay safe. Bye, guys!